guest today is a talented Nigerian writer, producer, and director, Kayode Kasum. He started his filmmaking career as a motion graphics designer and went on to produce the first ever live-action Nigerian film titled Dognapped, which was also his first feature film. In 2018, he directed and produced the film Oga Bolaji, which screened across 6 continents and over 20 film festivals and was translated into French and Italian. In 2019, Kasum was nominated for the Future Awards Africa Prize for Filmmaking. He gained prominence after directing the film Sugar Rush, which became the highest-grossing Nigerian film for 2019. Kasum has since directed several films including the blockbuster Fate of Alakada the Party Planner, Kwam's Money, Ponzi, Kambili the Whole 30 Yards, Dwindo, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our guest, Kayode Kasum. Hello Kayode Kasum, welcome to the guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you here. How you doing?
I'm good.
Now let's talk about you. We know you went from being a motion graphics designer to becoming an editor, and we finally now saw your film. Did you always want to be a filmmaker?
Always, man. I think as a kid, I wanted to be an actor. But as life will have it, man, life will throw you into different directions until finally found myself in film school. Then I became an editor. I always wanted to direct, but with the way the industry is set up, I think people kind of have to see your work first. And you can't just say, oh, I studied film directing and I want to direct now. And people start giving you jobs. Nah, it didn't work for me that way. So I noticed that I had to work my way up. So I started with video editing. After a while, I knew I wanted more. Then I studied animation online off YouTube. Then I started with motion graphics, saved some money, produced my first film, Dognapped, which everybody knows. Dognapped failed, but then I just didn't give up and I just kept pushing.
Now let's talk about Dognapped.
Yes.
Your first film. That film is the first live animation film in Nigeria. Why did you think of doing that?
I think first of all, I believed in the project, that's one. I believed in the things that I was going to do. And secondly, I am a filmmaker who lives in Nigeria, who is an independent producer who invests his own hard-earned money into projects. So I always try to invest a certain amount into film and not be attached to it too much. So I call it calculated risk.
This vibe you're saying, right, the way you're talking right now, is making me think like, okay, you started as an animation guy to an editor. It seems like you hammered in those your professional.
I did not.
Because these films would consume millions, and it consumed millions. And you're like, okay, if it doesn't come back, nothing happened.
So first of all, no, this is really good, thank you. First of all, have energy. So while I was working for Wale Adenuga Productions as an editor, I was covering weddings. So I was not sleeping. When
you're doing music videos.
I was not doing gospel music videos. I was covering red carpets. So I have all my life for like a year I would work. I didn't even used to go home because at the time I was living with my mom. I sleep in Wale Adenuga Productions. Hope they don't come and arrest me. So what I was doing like 10 things at once because I knew that this year in this job that I'm doing, or at the end of this year, I must come out with one film. So if I didn't, it was going to be me hating on myself that you failed though. So you just work for 1 year. Your plan, no carry and come out.
I know what. I believe you. Do you know why? I was on the red carpet for Dwindo, and I asked somebody that works with one of the actors. I was like, tell me something I don't know about Kayode Kasum that we don't know about Kayode. And he was like, he's the most hardworking director. He does not sleep. He's always working. And I asked him, he said, nah, it's not true. But guess what? A few weeks later, I saw a post on social media. He was awarded the most hardworking director.
Like I said, it's just being determined though, and just knowing what you want to do and just sticking to it. Also, what helps is also having people around you that believe in you. Because man, you can't do it alone. You'll go mad. You also have to have a circle around you that believe. They don't have to support you, but they just have to believe in you. Somebody that just says, I see what you're doing, keep going. because you do need that.
You just said that Dognaps failed, but yet the next year, after its release, you went for Oga Bolaji, knowing fully well that you are not just working as a director, you're also a producer, or let me say part of the producers of these films, and your money is also going into it. So this is Dognaps. It failed, and your money went into it, and you didn't. I'm sure you didn't make money.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we made almost the money we put back into it.
That's
Almost.
fair.
Yes. Fair.
Okay. So that was why you went back for Oga Bolaji.
No, I went back for Oga Bolaji because I was like, at this point, I want to be a good filmmaker, but maybe I failed at the first one. So Oga Bolaji was kind of like me telling myself, okay, try again, but this time, this is your last time. Oga Bolaji was supposed to be like my last film ever, because at the time, it made so much sense to travel to Canada instead of make a film. So I was working and I'd saved for, I think, another, maybe a year. Took some of the money from Dognaps, saved for a year again, and made Oga Bolaji. Yeah, and that's why I did Oga Bolaji, because it was supposed to be my last film. It was supposed to be the last film I'll ever do. But thank God that Oga Bolaji did become a success, and we kept making films from there. Now,
fast forward to 2020. You made This Lady Called Life, written, produced, and directed by you. And this film won like 4 awards at the just concluded BON Awards. Yeah. So look at where you're coming from to where you are right now with This Lady Called Life. What was the inspiration behind that film?
So when people talk about This Lady Called Life and Oga Bolaji, I always say it's for you to, I think before you make any film, you have to know why you're making those films. Okay. And This Lady Called Life and Oga Bolaji has been my strongest why in most of the films that I have made. For This Lady Called Life, I was just basically crafting my life into a film. The whole essence behind This Lady Called Life was to tell people that you're going to face challenges, you're going to fail. The challenges might come from different angles, which is what Ayetide faced in the film. And you just have to believe that there's one extra magic in life that will just come your way. And in This Lady Called Life, it came through Obina for Ayetide. So it was basically me just trying to inspire people and just tell people that you can keep going. That was why I made This Lady Called Life. Surprisingly, that has shown that at least I've formed a formula that works, because Oga Bolaji did win a lot of awards, This Lady Called Life did win a lot of awards, so maybe I should keep making films like that.
About life.
I don't know. But yeah.
Now let's talk about the film that brought it to the limelight, Sugar Rush. I know you have told me about this before, but how did Sugar Rush happen?
Sugar Rush happened one day. I got a DM from Jade Oshiberu. And Jade Oshiberu said I should send her a film I shot, which is Oga Bolaji. She watched Oga Bolaji and she was like, Kayode, I'm working on this film and I need you to be the director. So I was very shocked. I was very scared on the set of Sugar Rush, because I was like, at that point,
I understand.
That was the biggest thing I'd done in my life. I was scared though, I'm not going to lie. But it was just me telling myself that this was my opportunity to show the world that I can make films. At least this is what I always wanted. So I just didn't give up, I just kept going. I mean, this is the first time you hear. There was a day during Sugar Rush that we shot, I think it was the longest time that I'd been on set. And I got back to the hotel room where we were sleeping and I just started crying. Oh. Because it was hard.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard because I think we shot in 24 hours.
Wow.
That's my first time. And I was scared. So in trying not to be scared and just staying there, I was basically acting like this big director.
Why are you scared though?
It was the first time that I stopped being scared of my ideas.
Okay.
It's because I was this young director who was just started, and I will have this idea. So I'll have an idea of, let me give you a very big example is, oh, I have this story at this guy is going to jump from a helicopter. And I'll look at the set and there are challenges. We don't have a helicopter.
I know.
Nobody's going to jump from a helicopter. So I'll give up on that idea and I'll move on to, okay, what can we do? Oh, let the guy jump from the stairs. Oh. But on that film set, if my idea was somebody was going to jump from a helicopter, that person would jump from a helicopter.
How would you not make it happen?
And everybody's going to look at you like, boss, what are you going to do? And that was it. That's what changed for me. If I just saw something in my head, I would do it. I will look around and we will find a way. That set was a transformation for me to if I have something in my head, I must do it.
And in case you don't know, Sugar Rush is the highest grossing film of 2019. And after people saw Sugar Rush, they're like, oh, who is this guy? Who is this? We need to know who he is, because that film, I would say, is a door opener for you.
It was,
But how did you even prepare for it?
I remember a day Jadi Oshuberi took us to the location where we shoot the Toby chase scene. And this is what I'm telling you, I just stopped being scared of my ideas. And she was like, okay, director, what are we going to do here?
Okay.
The scene was that they will meet him in an uncompleted building. I was like, no, it's too simple. We needed something more elaborate. And I didn't even know, I think I got a text the next morning that we were going for recce. And we got to the set and Daddy was like, okay, Kayode, what are we going to do here? Director. And at that point, the ideas were coming, but at the usual point, if it was me, I'd be scared. And I was like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get plenty of people here. They'll be praying. There'll be Muslims. They'll be praying here. He will jump through them. We're going to set a party here. They'll pass through the party. And I was just saying it. That was me not... the ideas were coming, and I was not scared of it. I was just saying, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. That's why it was one of the hardest sets, because that was like a transformation for me. To not be scared of my ideas, to just believe that anything I think about, I can do it.
But why do you think that Jade believed so much in you to hand you over that kind of a
To be honest, it's a question that I always ask her. I'm like, why? But I don't know why. So this is where I'll put God. I don't know why, so we thank God for that.
Yes.
Because I always used to ask her, like, why did you give me this film? Because even, to be honest, I didn't even believe that I could do those things until I started doing them. So I guess it's just, to wrap it up, I'll say it's where opportunity meets challenge. So I was always waiting for that opportunity, and I saw it, and it was a challenge, and I just went on with it.
So how did you prepare for that film? Because I know as a filmmaker, when you get a film, you have to put yourself in a particular space. You have to see the story in your own lens.
She said we had a meeting. That was after the phone call when she gave me the job. She was like, we have a meeting. And I knew, I didn't lie to myself. I knew that I had not shot, even though I had Bolaji. I was traveling the world at the time. I knew that that was not enough conviction for her to give me that project. I knew.
Okay.
So I did not lie to myself. And I also knew that I was a young guy in the space of all these experienced people. So I knew. So I directed the film on paper.
How do you mean?
I broke down every scene on paper. I had this big slide. And
so you carried paper to the set?
She said it, no, she said it, and I took it to her first meeting. She said it on the premiere of the film. I broke down I directed the film on paper. That was even what gave me the confidence that I could direct this film. So what I did was, scene one, I'm going to shoot scene one the way they shot Batman, like this. I'll write it down. I put pictures, I explained to her what I wanted to do for scene one.
Oh, so you had like a storyboard.
And since then, that's been my method going into every film. I've already directed the film on a notebook before I go to set, so I'm not afraid. But as Nigeria now, when you get to set, Kayode, the set that we went to go and recce is not doing this again. No. So this is where the creativity comes in. You always have to change things. But in order for me to win her heart, I already directed the film on paper. We had a meeting, and she was convinced that I could do the film.
So that film has opened a lot of doors, like I said earlier. In 2020, I think you directed like 4 blockbusters. This year again, you're back with Dwindle. And I mean, the films are doing fine. Fate of Alakada grossed over 100 million naira, even in a pandemic era. And you're still getting more jobs. How do you now pick the projects you work on? Because I know that everybody would want to work with Kayode Kasum, because of course you're very creative. First
of all, I don't used to lie to myself. I'll tell myself the truth. Can I do this film? Am I the best director for the project? That's the first question. Yeah.
Why would you be asking if you can do a film? You did Sugar Rush regardless of the fact that you've never done an action film before.
Yes, but I also had to test myself and ask myself if I could do it. And I could.
Okay.
Which is when I directed the film on paper already. So the first question is, I can remember somebody did send me a script about a pregnant woman's journey. And I could not do it because I've never been close to anyone that's pregnant before. I've not been that guy. So I think I dropped that because if I did that, I would have failed at it. Because I don't even know if the writers researched more about it. So sometimes it's, am I the right person for this project? If that answer comes out yes, then I now need to know who's producing the project. If that is that person passionate, because in Nigeria as directors, sometimes we say it's my film, but let's be honest, it's not your film. It's the producer's film. So I try to get to know the producer why does the producer want to make the film? If I can get the essence of why this producer is doing this film, and I understand it, we are making a film together.
So where does money coming in all of this?
Money always comes in and money always finds its way.
So I love the fact that you always try to resonate with the film before you even get into it at all, which is, to me, is very, very brilliant.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on a quick short break. By the time we come back, we're still with Kayode Kasum, and we're going to continue this conversation. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We still have Nollywood award-winning filmmaker Kayode Kasum.
Hey.
I'm so happy to have you here in the
you.
studio. Do you handle camera on set when you're filming?
It's not good. Young actors don't do it, but sometimes I just collect the camera.
Why do you say they shouldn't do it?
It's not right because you have camera operators and director of photography on set. But yeah, filmmaker, telling your stories. I've seen pictures behind the scenes of foreign Hollywood directors sometimes handling the camera. So, but advice to myself and other young directors, sometimes just trust the people that you're working with and let them do their job. I've learned that has made me a better filmmaker. Instead of trying to be in control all the time, there's a reason why you're working with your team. Let your team that are talented and skilled do their job. I can't say it's a good project yet until it's out, but I noticed that in the recent film I shot, Sole, I was very patient and I just let my team do their work. And to be honest, I think it is.
From the pictures I've been seeing,
I think it will be like one of my top 3 best projects that I've shot.
That's a very high projection. I can't wait to see it then.
I hope so. Me too, I can't wait. Because with Nigerian audience, man, we never know. Yeah.
But you've not really given out so much about that film. Would you want to do that here on our set?
Okay, exclusive. Sole will be out November 12 in cinemas. Wow. It's the first time I'm talking about the story. So it's a film about different characters who enter a bus on Christmas Day and they're going to Enugu. And a lot of unexpected things happen on the way. Sole is inspired by a trip that I took when I was doing wedding videography. From Kaduna to Lagos, where we had to stop on the road. And when we stopped on the road, that was because we stopped on the road for 3 hours at night. It was a night bus because they were robbing in front.
Oh my goodness.
And I always had that idea. And Sole is so beautiful because if you're anybody that's gone through road travel, everything that happens in road travel happens in Sole.
I can't wait.
It's somebody selling something inside the bus. People are stopping because they want to pee. So people are arguing. Somebody's preaching. Sole is amazing.
I can't wait. Now, speaking about young filmmakers, do you think it's important to go to a film school? Because I know that you went to a film school. Do you think that has helped you as a filmmaker?
So, everybody has their journey.
Okay.
There's different types of journeys. There's no perfect journey. There's no manuscript that you should follow to be who you want to be in life. One of the best filmmakers I like, Quentin Tarantino, didn't go to film school. Another filmmaker I respect, James Cameron, did go to film school, did go to study physics because he wanted to make better films. So, but one thing is, you know that everybody has a journey to how they tell stories. And I don't think anybody's journey is better than another person's journey. So one thing I'm going to say to young filmmakers, know why you want to make films. The journey of how you got there is not important, but the message that you're going to pass across is very important. So for me, sometimes I want to make people laugh. That's important. I want people to go to cinema and just chill and laugh. I love doing that. I love putting smiles on people's faces. And sometimes I want to talk about life. But I think one thing that'll make anybody successful is if your message is unique. And that's the most important thing. Nobody's going to ask you, how did you make $1 billion? Yes, they will ask sometimes, but the essence is at least you've delivered the message and you've enriched yourself in the process. So always know why you're making films. If you don't know why, maybe find why, find your voice and start telling stories. Are
you still thinking of making an animated film?
I don't know what the future holds, but if it's
well, you love animation.
I love it, but yes, I think it's something I might do in the future, but not anytime close.
What about a live action film, even if it's not just a full animated film?
I'm somebody that's been scarred by that before.
Oh my God.
But like I said, you can never know, man. With God and sometimes with inspiration, I always wake up and I want to do it again. But if it's something I do, I think it's something I'll be excited about. But you can never know yet. For now, not. Now
let's talk about your newest project, Dwindle. I particularly love this film because when I watched this film during the screening, I was laughing. And everybody in the cinema hall, they were all laughing. I enjoyed myself. So if you haven't seen Dwindle, I'm telling you now, go and see it. This is not Kayode Kasum saying, and I'm not saying it because he's here. It is a good comedy film. Yeah, and he did it with Dario Lighton. Now let's talk about that combo. How did this happen? I know that you and Dario Lighton get nominated for the 2019 the Feature Awards. How did your relationship start? So did it start there?
It started way before then. My relationship with Dario Lighton started in Paris. We were both screening our films in Hollywood Week.
Wow.
He was screening Knockout Blessing. I was screening Oga Bolaji. But his Knockout Blessing was, in terms of production quality, was really good. Yeah, I think it's a film that his budget was quite up there, and he inspired me. That's what a lot of people don't know. Dario Lighton was one of the people that inspired me. I was like, okay, I think I want to do this big time. And thank God for Sugar Rush and This Lady Called Lives and Kambili. So he inspired me to go on to make those films and believe that I could do them. And we've been friends ever since then. We'll call each other and talk for like 1 hour. And one day, so while I had the idea for Dwindle, I'd given writers to write about it. It wasn't just there. So I had like 6 to 7 drafts of the script, and it wasn't what I had imagined. And I knew that there was one crazy friend that I had somewhere that a lot of people don't know is crazy. And I was like, Dari, let's make this film together. And he agreed. And Dari put a bit of his craziness into Dwindle, and that worked.
So Dwindle is showing in cinemas across Nigeria. You should see this film, especially if you love to laugh. You just sit there in the cinema and laugh. Welcome back. I'm sure you're having a good time. I'm in the studio with Kayode Kasum, the director of Sugar Rush, Kwam's Money, Kambili, The Whole 30 Yards, Face of Alakada. You know, I can go on and on and on. Yeah, and we've had a very interesting conversation. But right now, it's about to go a little bit light. We want to play some games. Yes. So, are you ready? It's not hard. It's very easy. Easy peasy.
Let's go.
So, I'm going to flip pictures of some notable directors, Hollywood and Nollywood, and you're just going to tell me 2 films that they have made. Yes. So let's see how it goes. So let's see the first person we have here, the first director we have here. Do you know this guy?
Yeah.
Who is this? Who is it?
Kruger.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. Yeah. So tell me 2 films he has made.
Black Panther.
Yes.
And Creed 2.
Okay, you got that one. Okay, the next person. You know this one now.
This one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino.
Okay, next person. Don't say Sugar Rush.
Iso Ken and Gangs of Lagos.
Who is this?
Jade Oshiberu. Jade Oshiberu.
Next person.
Tunde Kelani. So I'll say Anyinla and Shawaride.
I think this makes it easy. Next time I'll make it more difficult. So let's move on to the next game. So this next game, I'm going to flip pictures of food, like 2 food on the screen, or I'll just call out the food for you. And you have to pick just one. So if you're asked to pick one of this food, and that will be the food you pick over the other one, you just, let us know the one you would prefer, because I can tell that you like food. Oh, do you like food?
I like food. I love food.
That's
the only thing I do well.
Food.
I love food.
What kind of food do you like? No, let's play this game first. You can now tell us the food you like. So let's see the first food we have. Amala and gbegiri with jollof rice. I don't know why there's no plantain in this jollof rice, but let's assume that there's plantain and salad.
If you add everything on top, I'm going with the amala, man.
Are you serious?
I'm an amala boy every day.
Amala over jollof rice. Who does that? Kayode Kasum.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one. Okay. We have Ewa going and versus Akara.
They were going, man. They were going.
Over Akara and bread.
Over Akara and bread, yes.
Oh, okay, that's understandable.
I'm picking all the food she doesn't like.
Let's move to the next one. Okay. We'll fight for this one. Small chops versus asun.
Is this asun?
There's asun here. This is the asun. This is
small chops.
We have the idea is small chops versus asun.
I'm a big guy. I need some meat, so I'm going to go with asun. Asun every time.
Okay.
I'm picking out the food she's not going to pick. Let's go.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. The final one. We have pizza versus plantain.
Plantain.
Oh, I did that. You got this one. You got this one. You got this one. Chop knuckle. Chop knuckle. Plantain. Plantain to the world.
Plantain over everything.
Oh my goodness, I've had a sort of time with you in the studio and I'm very happy you're here.
Thank you.
And I hope his story is very inspirational to you. To me personally, it is, because he started from not being known, but he was determined to, you know, get it right in the industry, even though he made his first film and, like he said, he did not make money and he didn't, I mean, the first film wasn't what he wanted. He came back the next year with Bolaji. That opened the door for him. He got Sugar Rush, and after Sugar Rush, you can see he's now the Kayode Kasum. Yes, your story is very inspirational, and I hope you've learned from it. That's all on this episode. My name is Ahine Atta, and you have Kayode Kasum in the studio. Follow AFOREVO TV across all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please keep watching The Guest, brought to you by AFOREVO TV.